anything you've been putting off. Maybe you say, someday I'll do that, or when I have more time. Whether the item is a big bucket list item or something smaller like going on a hike, now is the time to start your Say Yes list. And we have the perfect process to help you turn these items into reality. Join thousands of others with our free Say Yes list template at thesayyesexperience.com/list. It'll help you stop living in that someday and start making those list items come true today. So download it now at thesayyesexperience.com/list. Welcome to the Say Yes Experience podcast, where we inspire you to get out of your comfort zone and into possibility. Our mission at the Say Yes Experience is to empower 10 million people to say yes. If you're new here, welcome. We're thrilled you're here. I'm Jessica Rector. I co-founded the Say Yes Experience with my then 9-year-old son Blaze, based off his idea to let's just say yes to things. I'm one of the top experts on burnout, and companies and conferences hire me to present on mental health, wellness, and burnout prevention. As the #1 best-selling author of 11 books, keynote speaker, and a burnout specialist, I've seen so much with our clients. The Say Yes Experience was started to help you really start living, to do the things that light you up, have more fun, and turn your dreams, or what we call Say Yes list items, into reality. So thank you for investing in yourself and being here. Now let's make it happen. Do you say yes to people when you really want to say no? Are you scared that if you say no to people, that they may not like you or they may get mad at you? Well, you might just be a people pleaser. Our guest today, Tina Hoang, shares how she started saying yes to herself, no to others, and became a recovering people pleaser, and how you can too. Please help me welcome my guest today, Tina Hoang. Thank you so much for being here, Tina. So you are a recovering people pleaser. Tell us a little bit more how you were a people pleaser, and then what kind of the revelation was that you want to recover from it.
So first, people pleasing is pretty much, the definition of people pleasing is overextending yourself in order to please other people, in regards of if you need something, you desire something, or you want something, leave that in the back burner. Who cares about that? Whatever you want, whatever you need, it's whatever. Everyone else matters before you. And I've always, throughout my whole life, even up until now, I've always catered to other people. And then finally, when I decided, when I was once in 2019, when I was dating someone at the time, near the end of the relationship, one thing that they said to me that stuck to me, which also changed the direction that I lived my life. They said that, oh, Tina, your passivity is unattractive. I don't know how I feel about that. And immediately I was shocked and just didn't know how to respond to that, because I've always known I've been passive. I always known this is something I've been handling and struggling with how to go about it. But the fact that someone I really care about told me this, I'm like, okay, there are two options I could do with this. There's two options I can decide what to do. I can decide, okay, yeah, I am passive. I want to keep going. This is what I am meant to be. This is where I'm supposed to exist in life. That whatever I do, whatever I want, doesn't matter. And I'm here in this life to cater to other people. In this life to just live for others and not live for myself. And I could have chosen that route, continue that route, hearing that statement, and chose that route. And it's like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep being, this is who I am. Or on the other side, the other direction is saying, fuck this. I don't want this. I understand. Thank you for telling me, but this is not who I want to be anymore. Thank you. I want to move forward. Let's grow with this. Let's be assertive. Let's be courageous. Let's be wherever I want to be. I don't have to, if I don't want to be passive anymore, let's do this. Let's move to the other directions and just keep fighting for myself and believe that what I want to do is for me.
So once you said, okay, here are the two options.
Yes.
So it was the second option. Now, how did you go about really tackling that second option? Because if you've been a people pleaser for your whole life and someone says that to you, it's kind of jarring, right? It's kind of like, whoa. well, like I know that, but wow, that's kind of in your face. Right. And that allows you to wake up and really pay attention. Because what happens is when we're used to being a certain way, we keep going down that path because that's what we've trained our brain, right? But he already interrupted your thought process and how you were thinking and allowed you to say, okay, yes, I know. And now what am I going to do about it? What are the next steps? So once he really was in your face and woke you up to that and you decided to do something about it, what did you do?
The first thing I did was like sit with it. I sat with it first. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I said now, okay, what am I going to do? Like, first thing I thought was like, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know how I'm going to go about this. But of course, like giving myself time to even just sit with it and think about what to do next. The first thing I did was give myself permission that I can do this. Like to give myself permission, like, yes, I can change. I can choose to do something for myself. And so the first thing, so it was like in the end of 2019. So it was New Year's Eve, I remember. I decided, like, many of us, they hang out with friends and family for New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. I decided to just hang out with myself. Just myself, go to the hills and just watch the fireworks by myself because I chose to do that for these people. And I sat in the car, and when the clock struck midnight, the first thing I said to myself was, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Tina. That's the first thing I did, was giving myself affirmations that I believed to myself, or even people around me didn't give me. And it's not because they didn't want to, they didn't know. They didn't know like how to give that to me. And I didn't ask for it because I didn't know what I needed.
I love that. I love, Tina, how first you sat with what he said and thought about it before just reacting, before being mad and angry and yelling and fighting, but you just sat with that and then reflected with that, saying, okay, great. Well, what's next? What's the next step? And I also love how you said, I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know, because I think so much of us expect to know what to do at every step. We know how to do something. And then oftentimes, if we don't know the how, Tina, we say, well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm just not going to do it, right? So you could have said, well, I don't know how to change that. I don't know what to do about it or how to do it. So I'll just keep being a people pleaser. I'll just keep going down that same path that I've been going down because I do know how to do that because that's what I've been doing. And so I love how, even though you said, I don't know how to do that, you gave yourself permission to sit with it and then find your way to the how, find your way to figuring that out. And I believe affirmations are so powerful. What we focus on, what we think about comes to life, comes to fruition, right? And so if you sit there and say, I'm so proud of you, I'm so proud of you, and you say that, one, you'll start to believe it, right? But then two, you'll start doing more of those things to make yourself proud.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's definitely true, because when it happened, that moment I said to myself, it was the first time giving myself permission, and then giving myself a compliment. And I cried and bawling, and just because it didn't believe it. Like inside my body, my inner child or whoever was inside me didn't feel that she deserved it. Or she didn't feel that she deserved everything that already what she's accomplished, what she's gonna achieve in the future. She feel like this is where it's gonna be at. And so, but now, 3 years later, like I can say proudly now that I am proud of myself, like without feeling the icky feeling of like, is this even true? Like, I don't know if I should feel proud of myself. Maybe this is not where I am. And so I came a long way. And then also so after the affirmations too, I decided that I want to journal. And I journaled every day. And through my journaling, there's like so many entries. I'm just like, what the hell, Tina? Why you like, I just like writing it all, just a lot of negative things, a lot of just so many emotions that can go through. But then also when I look back at it, I was like, wow, this is what my thought process was back then. And then now when I'm journaling now, it is more forgiving, more giving more grace to myself. Because those entries were very critical of who I wanted to be, who I was, who needed me to stay where I was, to stay as a people pleaser. And even though it was not explicitly, but when someone is used to who you were or who you are, they're like, once you change, you're like, what happened? Like, you're not like that person anymore. Why are you changing? Like, and even though it's not explicitly, what they're saying is that I was so used to saying yes to me with everything.
Yes.
And now you're like changing and you're not doing what I want. I don't like this. And then, and they get upset or just not knowing how to react to.
And so how did you handle that when that came up?
I decided like, well, this is me. This is me. I'm not going back. I don't want to go back to it. And it's just like more adapting to it and deciding which people belong in my life versus those who are need to kind of get out of the onion layer, that I would call it. So the onion, like the really core of the onion is like your close people, and then another layer. So which layer do you decide to put that person in? Like acquaintance or like so people who were in my inner core of my onion, they're now in the outer layer of it. And then like I'm not burning the bridge. I'm just like I'm deciding to distance myself from them because they don't serve me as they used to be. And
it's also kind of that concept they have to earn their way, or you basically have to decide if they're going to get back into that core group. And I can't think of the word, but it's basically they have to basically interview to get back, earn an interview to get back into that core layer. They're just not automatically put back into that core layer just because of what's happened in the past, but they have to earn their way back in there, to stand if they're valued in the way that you need as well for how they're showing up in your life. So I think that's important for all of us to think about with the people in our lives, like who is serving us and how are they serving us? And if they're not serving us the way that we need at that specific point, then we see them less often, have less conversations, spend less time with them. But, it's also common knowledge. They say that, you are the 5 people that, say it again.
So you are who you are based on the people you're surrounded with.
Yes, the 5 people that you're surrounded with. Thank you. Yes, I was like, I'm in a brain blockage. Yeah, the 5 people that you surround yourself with, that's who you are. So think about those 5 people that you surround yourself with, those people in your core layer. And if you're looking at those 4 people, is that who you want to be? And then if not, how can you change those 5 people? So how did you go once you became aware of it? And then you said, okay, I'm going to start changing that. What are some things or experiences that you did to change people pleasing? Because at some point that becomes ingrained in you. And so how do you go about changing that or taking those small steps? Because it's not going to change overnight, right? So what are some of those small steps that you took to not become a people pleaser?
So many steps with that. It's so the first thing what I did was self-awareness. It's really just sitting down with myself. And the journaling part is really what it helped me of being more keen aware of what's going on in my mind. Because when you're not self-aware, there's only one voice that directs your life, and it depends on where it is. So for me, it was my past self, my inner child feeling scared, making sure that we need to cater to people. We need to make sure that we give ourselves to other people. For example, if someone is angry about not being able to go to the zoo and they're upset, I feel responsible to make them happy again, to make them say, okay, let's just go to the zoo. Like, even though I don't want to do it, like, I want them to make them happy, right? And so most of it was just like self-awareness. So like most of the time my brain was mostly in that past. So now that with self-awareness, I'm able to shift. Now there's like two voices in my mind of like the present self and the past self. And there's this like internal battle in my brain of like, oh, no, don't do that. No, it's gonna keep yourself. Like, don't, for example, don't go to this party. And then another part is like, go to this party. It's fun. And like, or even if I want to go solo traveling, I love solo traveling. To this day, I still love it. But there's a voice in my mind that's like, don't do it. It's dangerous. What if women are there, like you're solo by yourself and, you know, and you get hurt and you know, just a lot of things could happen. But then I tell myself, like, it's okay. It's, you know yourself that you can keep yourself safe. And so it's mostly for me, one of the first steps I did was just talking with her, talking with the other voice, like, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel paralyzed or something. But being compassionate and being empathetic with her, understand that I'm here. Like, I'm a parent to her. And just talking with her. And then when there's moments where she's like stubborn, like she is so stubborn, I had to tell her, like, go sit down. Watch me and sit, okay? Well, I'm going to do my thing. You sit and watch. And so, like, there's a lot of, like, most of the steps I have to go towards recovering from people pleasing is just talking with her so often. And it's exhausting. It's like a lot of internal work of just, talking with her. It's like, girl, I know you're scared. I know you're paralyzed and everything, but just sit. I got this. I know you're scared. Let me do my thing first, right? And so I did a lot of that. And I mean, that was just the first step.
Do you want to start saying yes, but you just don't know where to start? And oftentimes when we don't know where to start, we just don't start. So we created an ebook just for you. We put together 101 ways to say yes. In this ebook, ideas big and small, things that only take a small amount of time, like 1 to 2 minutes. Whether you're saying yes to yourself, in your family, relationships, or pushing yourself lovingly outside of your comfort zone with adventures, it's all made to really help you become more of your rock star self. So you can get this ebook at thesayyesexperience.com/book, BOOK. So if you want to start saying yes, or maybe you need some ideas on how to say yes because you get so caught up in being busy and doing tasks and projects or doing laundry and cooking that the time flies by and you want to spend time with your family, but you just don't know how to say yes. Those ideas just don't come to you. We put it together to make it super, super easy for you. So go to thesayyesexperience.com/book to get your copy today and start saying yes now. Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or burned out? We get it. You're not alone. In fact, according to our research, 79% of the workforce is in burnout and almost half are in extreme burnout. In fact, it's the number one reason why people are leaving organizations. They're burned out. They're looking for something more. They're looking for something better. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have your solution. It's called Blaze Your Brain to Extinguish Burnout. 52 Keys to Prevent, Breakthrough, and Eliminate Burnout. You can find your copy at jessicarector.com/store. Now, this is a great tool that you can use with yourself, with your colleagues, within your organization. Everyone can get one, and you can go through one a week with them. And at the end, you can say, what was something that worked this week? What was the success you had? So you can champion and encourage each other. You can also ask what were the challenges and issues that came up, so you can mastermind and brainstorm around those to keep those from coming up in the future. So make sure you get your copy at jessicarector.com/store. All books are autographed with a personal message just for you.
And it's still going to.
That's so powerful, Tina, because you recognize that that's a little girl inside of you that is scared, that wants to, and we all have that person, right? who's scared, wants to be accepted, wants to be loved, wants to be liked. And no matter who we are, what we're doing, what our background comes from, how successful we are, anything, we all have that person inside of us. I think it comes down to how often we allow that voice to be stronger than the other voice. How often do we allow that little girl or little boy to take over and speak for us? Even when we're like, no, I know I'm scared, but I know I can do it. But oftentimes we allow that inner child to take over and speak louder. And then that becomes the pattern and the habit that we develop, that we stop even listening to our other self, right? The self that we really want to be, the self that could be screaming at the top of their lungs saying, no, you got this, you can do it. Like, just go out there and do it. And we think, nope, that little girl's really still scared, and I'm going to let that speak up. And so I love how you're saying it was just about me telling her to sit down. I got it. I can do it. Watch it. And then once we start doing that several times, it also starts building our confidence. And each time, the true us becomes louder and louder and louder. And that little girl, doesn't mean that the little girl or boy doesn't exist. Her voice tends to get smaller and smaller.
Yeah. And then sometimes too, I even ask her, like, come with me, sit with me too. Like, even though you're watching, like, she's just not, by herself. Like, sometimes I even ask her in my mind, like, come, like, as I'm a parent, like, come, like, you can sit with me while I'm doing my thing. Like, you're not alone. I'm not abandoning you. I just want you to, like, you're okay, you're safe, you're scared. But let's sit together, sit with me. And so, and she's like, she still feels like scared, but not as much anymore. It's not as loud, like you said. Like, eventually our true self starts, building the confidence and gets louder and then being more of who we want to be. And so, I agree.
But it's also empowering in a way, because oftentimes one of the questions I get asked is, you're so confident. How did you get confident? It didn't come overnight, right? So when I was in high school, I tend to be on the shy side. I still had a loud voice, and I was very still energetic and bubbly, but I tend to be on the shy side, meaning I wouldn't go up and introduce myself to people necessarily. I wouldn't be the first one to talk because I really wanted to be liked in school. I really wanted to be liked. When I had heard for so long, Jessica, you're loud, you have a lot of energy. Can you just sit down? Can you be quiet? Stop talking so much. Telling me that I talk a lot. And now it's awesome because, stepping up and owning that, that's what I get paid to do. I mean, that's how the premise of a lot of what we do is really teaching and sharing. We get on stages. I get on stages in front of thousands of people. So that's what people love about me now, because I've embraced that. But it didn't start off like that, right? And then just in high school, once I got into college, I started paying attention a little bit more to who I am and starting to really develop that. And then little by little by little, that confidence grew to now, I'm fully confident. But it doesn't start off that way. So no matter where anyone is at any stage in their life, they can start exactly where they are, start really asking themselves, like you did, like become aware of it, but then asking themselves, what is it I want? What is it really that lights me up, that brings me joy? Who do I want to be? Because I also think it's easy for us as kids to be the person that other people want us to be. And then we start identifying with that. We start telling ourselves stories around that. And then that becomes the stories that we show up as. Fine, okay, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be the people pleaser because that's who people expect me to be. So it takes what you're saying to be aware, but then it's also those steps. Confidence isn't going to grow overnight, right? It's you doing one thing and you going, oh my gosh, yes, I did this. And then the next opportunity that shows up, instead of saying no, or instead of paying attention to the little girl or little boy saying, I'm scared, you say yes anyways, and you work through that fear and then come out on the other side. And then along the way, the confidence grows, and then it starts trickling into other aspects of our lives too. Did you find that to be the case?
Definitely the case, because I've I mean, I'm 3 years ago where I am now. I mean, of course, it's like we're still human. So
Right.
it's not a linear thing where you're always confident every day and any single day.
Right.
But like where I was then 3 years ago when I started that journey for myself, I can look back and be like, hell yeah. I'm like where I am, all the work I did, exhausting, but damn, it was rewarding and amazing and beautiful and just so much joy because now I can say things to people like, no, I want to go. I want to go skydiving. I like that's what kind of thing I like to do is thrill seeking activities. Or I like I do. I've done so many thrills. So like I've done parasailing, paragliding. There's just like a lot of things that bring me joy, and like dancing, another thing too. And so finding the joy and happiness and passion that I love, I can say yes to those now. And if someone even says, if we're me and a friend are plan to go somewhere, I say what I want first and then ask them, what do you think? Versus when back then I was like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to eat? I don't even mention I want to eat pasta today. I want to eat sushi today. I don't even say any of that yet. I said, what do you want to eat? So the fact that I was able to gain confidence over time, not overnight, and just still working to this day, because I have moments where I'm just like asking my friends, people, what do you guys want to do? Without even thinking about myself yet. And then they have to remind me like, hey, Tina, it's okay not to please us. It's okay. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to. Because, like it's not a linear thing where you're covered and you're good.
Yes.
No, now we're going to act all the time. It comes back all the time. And so having a support group that also helps you remind you, like, you don't need to please us.
Yes. Yes. I love it. And, anyone who's listening, watching, you can join the support group. We have a Facebook group. Just go under groups, the Say Yes experience, because what can help you, whatever it is, to start saying yes. But I think, Tina, it also begins with us recognizing that we need to say yes to ourselves, because when you're in the people-pleasing mode, you forget who you are. You forget what you like, what you want to do, because like you said, we want pasta today, but someone else maybe wants Thai. So you just say, oh, okay. And then you forget, well, but what about me? I'm not saying yes to myself because you're so worried about pleasing and making other people happy. And it's such a struggle because in the process, you're not making yourself happy. You're not doing things for yourself. And so you forget about yourself in the process. And all of us, to some small extent, are people pleasers, right? We don't want to be combative and always have conflict in our lives. So sometimes we have to also make the decision to, even though I really want that, it's not that important. I'm just going to let it go. I really want pasta today, but that's okay. Thai sounds good too. So I'll just let that go. So some things we're just going to let go because they're not that important. But it's also vital for us to make sure when it is important that we stand up for ourselves and that we speak out and we speak up for ourselves, because no one's going to know if we don't. No one's going to know, hey, well, you didn't say you wanted Thai food. Well, you didn't ask if I wanted Thai food, and people are always thinking about themselves, just human nature. We think about what we want, right? And so we have to also advocate for ourselves and say yes to ourselves. What's important to us? If we like thrill-seeking activities, we need to go out and do that to light us up. And if other people don't want to go, that's okay too. We can go another time and do something that they're wanting to do. But we only live once, so we've got to think of ourselves, right?
Yes. No, we do. Like, we need to keep saying yes to ourselves because, like you said, like, we live only one life. And if we always cater to people and not think about yourself, you're pretty much existing. And you're existing to live for others. And when you're like on your deathbed, you think about, oh, what did I do this past life? And you're thinking, oh, I didn't do anything, because you didn't do anything for yourself that brings joy. You didn't bring anything to yourself that brings happiness. And it's deterring and that's why we have to keep saying yes to ourselves.
Yeah.
Saying yes that it's time.
We can give ourselves permission and the grace that you talked about and the awareness. So if you could tell, well, like you could tell everyone listening and watching one thing, the audience, one thing that would help them go from people pleaser to recovering people pleaser, what would that be? One tip, one strategy that would be helpful for them?
To do it anyways. To do it anyways when you're scared. To do it anyways when there's people telling you not to do it otherwise. To know that, to believe in your intuition, to believe in your gut that what you want and what you desire matters, and just do it.
I love that.
Take that leap and just do it for yourself.
I think when we're also in people pleasing, we're scared that we're going to let other people down, or other people are going to be disappointed, or, you know, they have expectations and we're not living up to the expectations, which again, all comes from that fear, right? That fear that other people are going to be mad or sad or disappointed. But yet, in the process of trying to please them, we're not pleasing ourselves.
Yes. No, definitely. Because then at the same time, you're like thinking, are they going to hate me and they're not going to love me anymore? But that shouldn't matter as much, as I learned, because people who love you and care for you, they'll still do love you and care for you, even if you change. You know?
Yeah.
So, and they're the people that you want in your life. Like, they'll unconditionally love you and accept you as you are, as you're changing. And
here's, Tina, here's something that rings true for what we're talking about. It's a saying, and it says, people who mind don't matter, and people who matter don't mind, by Dr. Seuss. You know, because it's easy to get all those thoughts in our heads of, oh my gosh, are people not going to like me? Are they not going to accept me if I say no, or if I do this for myself? And the people who matter will continue to matter. They'll continue to show up, and they're not going to mind. They're going to love that you're out there being yourself. And that's what the world needs, right, Tina? What of us?
No, it's definitely, every person matters, and you as an audience matter. That if you're also a people pleaser, if you're trying to recovery, you matter in this world, and you're here to live, not exist.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here, Tina, and for sharing that. And I hope you take our words of wisdom and go out there and be your best, amazing self. And it doesn't just happen overnight, but start with creating that awareness and then talking to that inner child inside of you. And I love how she says, come along, you can come with me, even if you're scared, sit down and watch me. Make it happen. So go out there and make things happen for yourself. We'll see you next time. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye. Are you ready to move to your next level of rockstar greatness? CFO, Chief Fun Officer, #1 best-selling author, and keynote speaker Blaze Rector is ready to help you do that. At just 10 years old, he's already written 2 #1 best-selling books. Through the power of storytelling, he uses lessons learned and shares strategies, tips, tactics, and tools to inspire, empower, and motivate you to live a more amazing life. So if you're ready to do that in your own life, grab a copy of his #1 best-selling books at jessicarector.com/store. And when you order your copies, he will personally autograph them and write you a message on those books before shipping them out to you to really inspire and empower you in your life. These books are great for adults and kids alike. So if you're ready to move to your next level of rockstar greatness, make sure you grab your copy at jessicarector.com/store. Enjoy those amazing, empowering, transformational books. Did you know that the 2 biggest issues impacting the workforce are mental health and burnout? Well, we have your solution. The more that you feel burned out, the more it impacts your mental health. The more your mental health is impacted, the more it leads to burnout. So it's a vicious cycle that goes around and around, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can help them both if you're intentional and strategic with it. We have lots of resources for you at jessicarector.com/store. One that I want to highlight that really enhances your mental health is Tame Your Brain Game, 52 tips to turn negative thoughts into positive action. Now, research shows that 80% of your thoughts are negative. No matter how positive you feel, it's the pattern and the habit that you've developed over the course of years, over the course of decades. And that can often impact your life, how you show up, how you lead, how you communicate, how you engage, whether at work or at home. And then it also impacts a work environment. All you need is one NN or TT, negative Nancy or toxic Tim, to really impact that work environment. So if you are ready to enhance your mental health, get your copy of Tame Your Brain Game, 52 Tips to Turn Negative Thoughts into Positive Action today at jessicarector.com/store. All books are autographed with a personal message just for you. Thank you so much for being here. Check us out at thesayyesexperience.com. Our mission at the Say Yes Experience is to empower 10 million people to say yes. With your help in sharing our podcast, we can do that. Follow us on all social media at the Say Yes Experience and join our free community at facebook.com/groups/the Say Yes Experience. Thank you again to our guest. You can find all the contact information for our guest in the show notes. Thank you to our CFO, Chief Fun Officer, Blaze Rector, our business advisor, Lisa Verhurick, and to our team at Jessica Rector Enterprises. We look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. Have an amazing day and keep being a rock star.